Here we go, everyone, with another episode of the Will and Rock MMA podcast. Will, talk to me about this goddamn crazy stacked card.
Yo, this shit is... I'm so excited for this. Besides the fact that we're going to be there, the card is stacked.
Yo, be ready for us to film shit when we get there, yo.
It's going to be so much fun, man.
Oh, man.
But anyways, it's the best card of the year so far. Keep it in mind, we're just in April. There's a lot more to go, but every single fight is just... event waiting to happen. Like so much looking forward to it.
It's so great that they put a card where any of these cards could be the main event. Well, I won't. Yes, main or co-main events in the UFC on Fox. You know, or UFC Fight Night. Like,
yeah. But let's get straight to it. Right? So the first fight is one of my favorite fights. It's the one that's gonna bring the house down, I believe so a lot. Alaquinta versus Paul fucking Felder.
Jesus Christ! God, you pick the first fight.
Alright, cool. So Alaquinta is a motherfucker, bro. Paul Felder, another one. They're gonna bang. I pick Alaquinta. I know what he brings to the octagon every time he fights. Now there has been a big layover. He hasn't fought in a while. But I do believe Alaquinta is going to get it done. That's not taking anything away from Paul Felder because he had a tremendous win the last time he fought. I just don't believe that he's in the same caliber as Alaquinta's setup game. And Alaquinta's left hand is second to none. I believe he gets it done not only by decision. It's not going to go to decision. Sorry, it's not going to go to decision. It's going to be a knockout, first or second round.
All right.
And that's because Paul Felder likes to bang.
All right, so with that being said, just to go against you, even though I was going for Alaquinta for many reasons. The younger guy coming in, the guy who I feel so fucking underrated. I think putting him against Paul Felder is like, thank God they're putting him against somebody with a bigger name. I'm still going Paul Felder. Reason behind that. Alaquinta has been gone for a long time. Alaquinta has been very unhappy with his UFC contract for a long time. He has nothing good to say about fighting, because he always talks about how he has like a love and hate relationship like most fighters, but I feel like he's too young to be possessing that, like too early to be talking about it. Either way, going Paul Felder, I feel like this fight is going to start off the card with freaking fireworks for the pay-per-view event. You have Alaquinta winning first, second round. I either have Paul Felder winning in decision and hopefully being the veteran and really outworking him, or just a knockout. I mean, this could go any way possible.
I have a hard time believing that he's gonna knock Alaquinta out, but it's your decision. I got Alaquinta. You have Paul Felder, correct? Mm-hmm. The next one we have Michael Chelsea. He's fighting against Anthony Showtime Pettis.
I got this.
All right, go for it.
Because it's my turn. All right. I know who you're gonna pick. I know you're going for Showtime because I feel personally it's like the obvious way to go. But for some reason, I've seen Showtime fight as of late. He just hasn't had that spark in him.
He hasn't.
He's a Showtime reel. He's a highlight reel. Well, yeah, if you want to put it that way, he's a highlight reel waiting to happen. I just think Chelsea's gonna do what Dos Anjos did to him. Just grind him out, wrestle him, try to submit him, which is gonna be a bit of a chance because let's not get it twisted. Anthony Pettis has a great defense on the ground, great defense. But what is Chelsea known for? His jiu-jitsu. I feel like he's going to grind out Pettis because that's the way you beat Pettis. Yeah. You get Pettis on his back, you're winning the fight. As long as you could control yourself in the ground and you could be patient.
Yeah, Eddie
Alvarez, Junior Dos Anjos. These guys have all been grinding him out, and he has no answer for that. Yeah. He hasn't had no answer for that because he's truly a stand-up fighter.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a kickboxer. That's a very good point. I got Chelsea winning this fight. I feel like this is going to be the upset of the card.
For sure. If he wins, it's the upset of the card, without a doubt. That's a very good point. I have Showtime Pettis winning. I feel like, yes, he's coming off of a loss against, what is this young kid? Poirier, right? I believe that this is the perfect fight for Pettis to get back on his feet. They put him against a perfect opponent, a guy that's really not known for his stand-up, is known for his submission game, but not the greatest wrestler. And because of that, I feel like Anthony Pettis is going to try to keep it on his feet as much as possible. And for that reason, I believe that Showtime Pettis could not only get it done in the first or second round, but it's definitely going to be a knockout. I really do believe that. I think it's the perfect fight for him to get at this stage of his career. Anthony Pettis gets it done first or second round. If by any chance Chelsea decides to take him down, I believe that Pettis could pull off the victory just like he did to Ben Henderson and catch him with the arm lock and get that submission. So for that reason, I have Anthony Pettis. All right.
It's fair, man. It's fair.
The next one is Renato Moicano versus Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar is a motherfucker, bro. Now, keeping in mind, these guys are now ranked, they're ranked above 10, the 10th spot in the division. I believe that Kattar gets it done, and I believe Kattar gets it done by a good knockout. I don't know too much about Renato, but I would like to think that, and this is a little crazy for me to say because I don't really know Renato, but because he's Brazilian, I would like to think that he has something to do with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under him. I don't know him too much, but I would like to think Kattar will get it done by knockout.
You got Kattar. All right. You know what, man? I'm going against you in every fucking way possible here. I got Renato. Chris, he's 10-1? Renato?
Renato is 11-1.
Oh, 11-1.
Oh, shit.
All right, so he's a vet. All right, so he's been in the game for a while. Thanks, Chris. He's been in the game for a while. Kattar, I know what Kattar brings to the table, man, but you can't go against a Brazilian sometimes. You know what I mean? And somebody who's 11-1, who I am very clueless who this man is, and just to go against you to make this card more interesting, I got Renato winning this fight.
It's so funny that this is the card is so fucking stacked. To believe that these guys are actually the middle of the card of the main event is like, what the fuck?
So, but that's my point. I was just telling Chris. I was like, yo, I feel like this fight's gonna be a sleeper.
Yeah.
Like you're putting Quinta, which I think Quinta Federer should be the first fight, just to like get the blood flowing, right?
Somebody's getting knocked out.
But you're gonna put like Pettis being up? I'm like, yo, I need to find out who this fucking guy is, man.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. These are the people that get their shine at a perfect time. We
always talked about this. Yeah. We always hear the same thing.
This might be the reason why we remember that name. For this exact reason.
Yeah, imagine they steal the fucking show, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy in this card.
So far, we've been completely against each other. I got Kattar in this case. You got Renato. Now, let's go to the other. This is for the title. Now, I'm fucking so pumped about this.
It's my turn to talk. So what we got?
Oh yeah, I just saw you.
Yeah, man. Because
Alright, so we have Rose Namajuanes. I can't really pronounce the name. Namajuanes versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Take it over. What the fuck you got?
All right. This is as difficult as a card gets. I mean, I'm sorry, as a fight gets. Reason behind that is, I don't know if Joanna was 100% for that fight, man. Like, as much as I think about it, the more I look at the fight, I've seen the fight several times at this point. But you can see Joanna looks like scared. Like, I've never in my life seen her that. And it's like, it's tough to see somebody who brings so much passion into the weigh-ins. Almost like Ronda Rousey. And then it's like, you get punched like you've never been punched before. Your whole game goes out. You know what I mean? Like, plan A, plan B, plan C is out the window. What do? You're just working off survival at that point. I got Doug Rose to this, man.
Yeah.
Yo, Doug Rose. It's several reasons why I'm going for her. Main reason is how much control she has in that octagon. How much room she gives herself as she bounces back and forth. Like, Joanna's all about, almost reminds me a little bit of Cyborg. Just brings it forward. Amazing accuracy. But Rose brings that, like, nostalgia where she gives you works around the octagon extremely well. And most importantly, knows when to throw her hands. Know how to keep her distance. And this is something that, for some reason, Joanna has not figured out yet. I don't want to overcomplicate it, bro. I'm going Doug Rose on this.
Interesting.
And she's fucking hot as hell, too. That helps.
All right. So, This was one of the most difficult fights for me. Like, every time I would play it out in my head, how this fights went about and everything, it's exactly what you said, right? Think about the weigh-ins, right? They stare each other down. Joanna Jędrzejczyk just puts a fist right to her face. Rose is just looking at her like, bitch, you're not scaring me whatsoever.
Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holmes, part 2 right there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And Rose is doing a prayer. She has a fist to her face. But it's to show you the type of caliber. Well, forget about that. It's just the confidence Rose has. Like, she's like, oh yeah, it's all good. Do what you gotta do. Like, I got this. And she completely proved it the minute they got into the octagon.
So comfortable, man. So comfortable.
I would like to think that Joanna has looked over the tape over and over again, seen her mistakes. Joanna's one of the baddest bitches in that weight class, hands down. No disrespect. I'm sorry. I'm a little pumped about this fight. Joanna, not only does Joanna get it done, I think Joanna's gonna go for a submission, or she's gonna or she wins by decision. I'm gonna go for submission. I'm going against you. I believe that Joanna saw the tape enough time. I hope she did enough times, and she will get it done. I think Joanna sees every flaw that she did the minute she got into that octagon. She's gonna come in a little less. I don't know, more confident, I say, this time around. I think she was too nervous going in there. It's the first time she goes against an opponent that really doesn't talk shit. And she's like, why is that? Why is nobody feeding into my shit? You know what I'm saying? I think Joanna's going to come in a little more confident, and she's going to get it done.
All right. I mean, it's once again, it's one of those things for this card, man. Anybody can fucking win. You pick anybody, it's one of the toss-ups.
Somebody's taking shit.
Hell fucking yeah.
Alright, so then we have the last but not least.
I don't want you to pick this fucking card, man.
So we have Khabib versus Max Holloway. Now, this is a really tough pick as well.
I have so much to say about this
card. So, first of all, Tony Ferguson was supposed to fight against Khabib. This is the 4th time trying to make this fight happen, and they cannot get this fucking fight to happen. If you ask me, it's one of the greatest fights to ever be put on a card.
In that weight class.
Without a doubt, 100%. No, 100% in that weight class.
No, because the best fight ever? Man.
It's a possibility, man.
Think about McGregor and those USA. I was like, damn.
Okay.
But debatably, it could go up there.
Because I think it's that anticipation of it happening. Like, ooh, this is going to happen. You know, very difficult, like, complex styles. You know, you have Tony Ferguson, who's a great, stand-up fighter. He's known for his stamina. He's known for just being relentless. And then you have a guy like Khabib that would come after you fucking face to face, grind you. The best stand-up fighters. Look what he did to Barbosa. Look what he did to Michael Johnson. Just straight up look you in your face, push right in front of you, take you down. And once you're on the mat, there is nothing that you can fucking do. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. With that being said, I'm all excited about this shit. Tony Ferguson gets injured. He turns a fucking ACL.
Dude, you getting me nervous. Who you picking, son?
Hold on, I gotta break this shit down properly. Tony Ferguson gets a torn ACL.
Is it a torn ACL?
It's a torn ACL. It's officially been confirmed. It's very unfortunate. When it first happened...
Are you talking about... You sure it's a torn ACL? Is that Matt Brown that got a torn ACL?
No.
Matt Brown got a torn ACL.
Am I confusing it?
Yeah. So, you're confusing it. Ferguson had a knee injury.
Oh my god, I apologize. You're completely right. Yeah, I was just reading some other stuff right before we got to this podcast.
Yeah, well, now you broke it. Matt Brown versus Kalikonda is not fucking happening for the gazillion time.
But anyways, long story short, he has a knee injury, just like you said. Max Holloway decides to take... Mind you, this fucking fight is Saturday. It's a few days from now. Decides to just come in, take over the fight. This is what concerns me. I would literally pick Max Holloway in this fight if he had enough training time, knowing that he was going to fight against Khabib. The fact that Max Holloway only has like a 6-day notice to fight a guy who's known as one of the greatest fighters already, undefeated fighter, is too hard for me to pick Max Holloway. I love Max Holloway. I think he's one of the greatest fighters to ever step into the octagon. I just don't believe that has enough time to train for Khabib. and for that reason, I believe Khabib gets it done. I don't think he gets it done by submission or knockouts or stoppage. I believe he gets it done by submission. By decision.
Oh.
And for that reason, I got Khabib. Sorry for the prolonging, but this shit has me pumped.
You nailed it, bro. All right. So a couple of insiders behind this fight. So I'm glad you didn't mention this. Like I got something to say because you fucking took over the show. Which, so do a great job. So Ortega was called in for this fight, and Ortega took the fight. He said, "I'm taking this fight." They told him, "Okay, we'll call you back." This, by the way, this is the UFC calling Ortega and letting him know that he was going to take over the fight. Ortega accepted the fight. He said, "We'll call you back," because he was told that they're still waiting on Max Holloway to answer their call. What the fuck does Max Holloway do? Answer their call. So just think about that. They had Ortega versus him, and Ortega was taking that fight too. Don't get me wrong, I know that. But the fact that Ortega was part of that discussion, it's amazing, bro. Yeah. It's just amazing. This is a bunch of killers being called at one shot, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's sad to say, but yeah, Ferguson got injured, got a knee injury, and blah, blah. I don't know how I feel about this fight, man.
Let
me say something. You couldn't nail it any better. But this is the reality. And as much as I want to go against you, Khabib could beat anybody. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
You're Conor McGregor, you're getting stepped on. You're Max Holloway, you're getting stepped on. You're Tony Ferguson, you're getting stepped on. My personal opinion, because I know a lot of people could say, "Man, you're talking about Tony Ferguson." Shit, I know, man. I fucking know. No one has seen this MMA world hasn't seen someone like Khabib.
Nope.
This MMA world hasn't seen someone walk through fighters the way he does it, and demolish fighters the way he does it. He doesn't need to knock you out.
No.
He will make sure that you realize going into that third, or in this case, fifth round, you stand no chance. Like, how am I supposed to quit? Should I tell my trainer to throw in the white towel?
For sure.
There's no one like Khabib, man.
There's nobody
I have so much respect and love for this guy because
I want to interject just a little bit. I don't mean to interrupt you. So he trains for AKA, right?
With AKA.
With AKA. Josh Thompson, being the captain there, says that he's never trained with somebody like that, right? John Fitch, who also trains for AKA, who's a former UFC UFC #1 contender who ended up fighting Georges St. Pierre, says that he's never seen a fighter like Khabib. DC, who's a heavyweight now, he's never seen a light heavyweight champion. He's fighting against Miocic. That's a different story, but never seen. Luke Rockhold. All these top fighters are saying they've never seen a guy like Khabib just sweep the whole fucking, not only the division, but the whole training camp.
If this ain't fucking
that's all I needed to say.
If this is not enough for you guys to watch this fight, man, you guys are on something. It's crazy. Khabib is gonna prove why he's the best in the world. Khabib is the best in the world. I know that sounds crazy because there's so many amazing fighters out there. Khabib to me is the best in the world, man. He just brings something that no one's seen in the octagon. Like I said before, there's fighters who wrestle you. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Tyron Woodley. Love him to death. I think he's great. I think he's very underrated. People don't really like him as a champion because he's a boring fighter. If you like MMA, you like the way he fights. That's just the reality of it. But there's one thing about wrestling you to the ground, but there's one thing about wrestling you and finding a way to just throw punches directly to your face. Yo, Ethan Barbosa was such an embarrassment to that fight. And he's a top caliber fighter.
Yeah,
top caliber fighter. This is what happens to him. I'm not going against you. Fuck that. I'm not taking a shot on this one. But the fact that we're going against Max Holloway,
I know, it breaks my heart.
That sounds crazy.
It breaks my heart, but
it sounds crazy.
It's MMA math at this point. It's no longer who's your favorite. It's just pick the right opponent in this case, and Khabib just completely makes sense. Now, with that being said, if Max Holloway had a longer period of training and all that stuff, then we could be like, you know what? I think I might just give it to Max Holloway. Not only do I like him better than I do Khabib, but I like how he's been performing as of late and the way he's been demolishing people in the octagon. But there's nothing that you could say about Khabib.
So the only thing I would say about this fight, well, not that I have not enough to say about this fight, is that Max Holloway thrives in those 4th, 5th round, 3rd round. When the later he gets, the better he strives. So this just makes sense. If you look at this on the book, man, this is the best card of the year, hands down. Question mark if it even beats last year's card to an extent. I can't think of anything that like pops into my head.
Yo, you know, one thing I have to say before I forget is what is the freaking guy, McGregor's guy that he's also fighting in this card?
Arthur. No, Lugov, the Russian dude.
Yeah, the Russian dude.
The Hammer.
Who trains with McGregor. Rumors are McGregor's gonna be there. McGregor's gonna be in the audience.
Well, it makes sense because he's always supporting his guys.
Not only is he also supporting, but it's the perfect time for him to be there because Khabib versus Max Holloway, whoever wins, it only makes sense for Conor McGregor to step up and fight either one of those two guys. So it's something also to look forward to because normally we've been to a couple of UFC events. We normally leave after the person wins. Now we got to stick around because most likely Conor McGregor is going to go into that octagon.
So add to that, one thing that we don't put into perspective is the fact that Max Holloway is the lightweight champion. Right? Max Holloway is going into this fight. If he wins, he has 2 belts in his hands. That hasn't been talked about.
No.
We haven't even discussed that because we're so convinced that Khabib is going to win this fight. Let's switch it up a little bit. Max Holloway wins his fight. He has 2 belts under his belt, under his waist. And then talking about McGregor had to vacate that belt because he was holding the freaking whole weight class hostage. So he had to vacate the belt. So listen, man, let's not even get further into this. Max Holloway wins. Max Holloway makes history. Max Holloway
wins. Max Holloway gets over Conor McGregor. He could go easily as the greatest fighter to ever grace that octagon. I'm gonna go as far as to say that.
But you know what? He still needs to face McGregor. And you know, McGregor's one of those guys that it's a toss-up. Like, when is he coming back? But when he comes back, he shows up and he shows face. What's gonna happen? We'll see what happens, man. Woo! Jesus, guys! If you don't see this fight, you guys are on something. I'm telling you, man.
It's gonna be a fucking crazy.
We'll be there. We'll be at the Barclays Center. We'll be recording this shit.
For sure.
Yeah, man. Follow us. What do you want to do?
No,
follow us on the.
You don't have to fucking do anything. Just catch this fucking fight. Leave your comments on the Will and Rock MMA podcast on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Peace.
Later, people. Peace.